Hi there, it's Michael Ackerman coming to you from Seattle, Washington. Today I'd like to blog a little bit about earnest money. What is it and how does it work? Earnest money is the amount of money that a buyer will usually deposit in a neutral trust account to let the seller know that they are serious about buying the home. Again, this amount of money is about 3% of the purchase price. Now, lately in Seattle, I've seen earnest monies be a little bit lower. 2 to 3% is usually the usual practice right now, but 3% is the average in Seattle for earnest monies that a seller is willing to accept from a buyer. This money is deposited in a neutral trust account once the purchase and sale agreement is signed and all parties come to mutual agreement. This earnest money will then be held and will be credited toward what the buyer owes at closing. So if a buyer owes $10,000 at closing and the earnest money were $5,000, they only need to bring $5,000 into closing. The earnest money will be returned to the buyer if, at any point in the transaction, the buyer wants to walk away and has the legal resources to do so. And by legal resources, if one of the contingencies is not met or satisfied, the Form 17, the inspection condition, a true contingency if the buyer needed to sell their own home before purchasing the home they're entering into an agreement on, the buyer would get the earnest money back if the deal didn't work. At a certain point in the transaction, the contingencies have all been met or satisfied, and the earnest money becomes non-refundable. So if the buyer weren't to perform or close, the seller would keep that earnest money in recompense for having their home off the market. If you have any other questions about earnest money or real estate, please feel free to email me at michaelackerman@cbbain.com. And do remember, it's all about the connection.